Doom v Vamos Vivamus Epicureans. This is the Marvel Epic Collection Podcast One-Shot Edition. I'm your host, Nick Smith, and I'm going to have Stojr join us afterwards. We're recording these individually just because of the holidays and so forth. Probably going to be like this for the remainder of this volume, but we will see. Anyway, we're participating in Kurtis Findlay's Epic Marvel Podcast Reading Club, and this one-shot is going to be our brief thoughts on today's issue, which is X Men number 146, Murder World. Alright, so the X-Men are trapped in Doom's castle, facing traps tailored to their own powers, but with a possible means of escape so that Doom can study the X-Men. Meanwhile, our X-Men, our former X-Men, the X-Men in-laws, I don't know what you call them, anyway, former teammates, they find the entrance to Murder World. They themselves get trapped, and they have to find some way to reunite and rescue their kidnapped friends. Now, as I was reading this, it kind of felt like a Silver Age comic to me, and maybe this is Cockrum's doing with his return. And don't get me wrong, I love the Silver Age, but after the quick and constant events of the previous volume, this felt like a little bit of a slog, honestly. And to have the individual traps for each character to show off their specific power felt very reminiscent of kind of like what Jack Kirby did at the start of the Fantastic Four, where he would have, again, a little something for each of the members to do to show off their powers. And then to have to do it twice with the X-Men in Doom's Castle and then the auxiliary X-Men in Murder World, it kind of felt like a lot, to be honest. I'm also amazed that Doom is being portrayed as this patient with Arcade. Doom does give him a warning on page 52. Let me see if I can pull that up on the comic viewer. I think I've got this on the right page here. Here we go. So Doom gives him a little bit of a warning on page 52, but again, the sheer audacity of Arcade to then light a match on Doom's armor and not being dead, I think is something that's quite staggering, to be honest. I wouldn't think Doom has that much patience. I mean, he does for certain things, but not for that. Anyway, interesting little dynamic there, I thought. All right, I'm going to pass this off to Stojr now, so let's hear his thoughts.
Here are my thoughts on Uncanny X Men 146. This is the X-Men versus Murder World, although not entirely the X-Men versus Murder World. This is kind of the We're Not X-Men versus Murder World, where we have Banshee without his powers, Iceman, who hasn't been on the team in quite a while, Polaris, and Havoc, with a art and cover by Cockrum. The cover is not my favorite. It gets the point across. It's interesting, but not entirely an iconic cover. Doom really takes center stage in this issue, even though those non-X-Men are going through Murder World at the same time, because Doom is keeping Angel, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, as well as Colossus and Storm captured in his castle. I like the brewing storm on the outside, just emulating the tension of Storm's frustration of being captured there, leading up to what we'll see in the next issue entitled Rogue Storm. We get a little bit more interaction with Cyclops, who's now shipwrecked and fighting through this storm on the island. A little bit of this annoyance of Arcade interacting with Doom. I like that the animatronics turn out to not be Illyana. This is our first interaction with Illyana, although it's not really her. So there's a little bit of a Westworld feel to some of this as we go through here and as the different people fight. I think that Polaris's usage of her powers is interesting. Her costume looks a little Halloween-y. I forget if this is a new costume or if this is what she was wearing earlier in the series. It's probably what she was wearing earlier in the series. Not my favorite incarnation of her costume. Interesting nonetheless. And, it's trying to flip through here, and I'm hesitating because I want to see. Oh, yes, it was in this issue. I do feel like it's a good idea to have Storm as a robot. I feel like it would be a little problematic to have her kind of mind controlled or enslaved to Doom as she goes around here. So I like that he's got this animatronic version of her that is sort of taking the place of his servant, so to speak, The real storm is still encapsulated in that metallic husk, while that storm on the outside of everything starts to really build intensity as things go forward. Overall, I think this issue is interesting and fun. It's good to see the X-Men walk through the traps. Love seeing Iceman interact with some things again. It's been a while. I think Havoc looks really silly on page 71 when he surprises Arcade's sidekick there. Otherwise, it's a okay middle issue to this story arc. Really looking forward to the conclusion at the end here, coming up in issue 147.
All right, thank you, Stojr, and thank you, the audience, for watching and listening. We'll be back again tomorrow with another one-shot, and you can check us out on YouTube, where we post the episode schedules and currently have a poll for you to choose which Epic Collection we will read and review in March. Check that out, and go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you like what we're doing. I put Stojr and my link trees in the description if you ever want to find us on the internet. So thanks again, and we'll catch you next time for another episode that will be just as epic.